Hello and welcome. It's our pleasure to be here as Biodivertis. We have here Peter Praschag and myself. My name is Axel. We are both co-founders of Biodivertis, a German startup in the field of biodiversity. And we will do the following. We will show you a short trailer which explains a little bit what we do and what our technology is about. And then we also have some couple of minutes left in order to explain it a little bit more in detail and also to give you an insight into what our vision is.
Since this photo of Earth was taken from the Moon in 1968, we've lost almost 2/3 of the planet's wildlife. "90% of large fish have vanished, and more than 45,000 species are at risk of extinction. This loss of biodiversity brings our ecosystem out of balance, which affects all of life, including humans. And here I am, a rare Kinosternen Vogti, and there are only a few of us left. I know, I look like I ran into a post-it, but it will help you recognize me when I'm on the cover of all the fancy magazines. Because I am ambassador to Biodivertis, a groundbreaking holistic system that I want to tell you about. Imagine one idea that holds the solution to the biggest problems of our biodiversity crisis. It starts in the DNA. Each species and individual has a unique code of thymine, guanine, adenine, and cysteine in their genetic material. It is almost endlessly long and different for everyone. DNA markers identify such codes to define our individual genetic fingerprint. Biodivertis combines two marker techniques. They identify STRs, which are sequences within the DNA that repeat like tandems, and SNPs, which are tiny variations in the DNA where just one base is changed in the individual. Both provide essential information into genetics, and combining them together as a genetic passport is a game changer. Because now we can give threatened animals an individual genetic fingerprint in digital form. I have such a genetic passport that lists my species, my lineage, and all my characteristics for individualization. It's a digital certificate in the form of an NFT token that can be bought, sold, or traded. And to make it super secure, it relies on blockchain, a technology that is fraud-proof. At border controls, these digital certificates ensure that only legally sourced animals and products of animal origin can enter countries. They also promote ethical sourcing for leather and other animal-derived products and bring unprecedented transparency into supply chains. This helps to combat illegal wildlife trade, one of the biggest threats to biodiversity. DNA samples can easily be taken from all over the world with our simple lab-free test kits and sent to our genetic database. It will grow into a giant pool of information that is also valuable for scientists, NGOs, and zoos to monitor populations and breeding programs. And we can encourage business investment into protecting wildlife by assigning financial value to these digital passports. Companies can invest, let's say, in turtle conservation and receive a biodiversity certificate in return. They demonstrate their environmental responsibility, and nature actually profits. The potential of marker technology is vast. And it's just the beginning. With the support of forward-thinking partners, we can continue to develop and refine these genetic markers, not just for a few selected species like me, but for all the animals and plants spanning around the globe. so that both business and wildlife can thrive together. For a world that empowers biodiversity, a world full of life.
Thank you. So, a world full of life and to empower biodiversity. This is our vision, and also with the team we have in Germany. And when it comes to biodiversity, you can see, and we also brought some points here with us, you have heard it in the trailer, there's a big loss of biodiversity. And on the right-hand side, you can see also what a little bit the reason for that is. How is this crisis still persisting? And it is due to the lack of a certain system which is reliable for all the biodiversity activities and initiatives we can see on this planet. And our vision and our mission is to provide a system which is scientifically based and which gives for any kind of animal or plant the possibility of a unique digital DNA-based passport. Our intention is nothing else than, if we look at Biodivertis and our objective, we want to give a genetic identity, if you like. We are using the sentence in our corporate that we want to give nature a voice that people can understand. And that voice is the DNA. Because in any single animal and plant, there is a unique DNA. It's unique. You won't find a second one. And by making that transparent and bringing that to the surface, we want to give identities to all these animals. And from that moment on, when we put it on blockchain, and we have generated this passport, that individual animal is known on this planet. It's not anonymous anymore. And that again means that when it comes to traceability, and that again leads us to certain initiatives already existing, NGOs, zoos, and customs are doing, that they have a completely new tool in hand, which is not paper-based, which is not based on trust, but it is based on proof. There's a scientific proof. You don't have to interpret it, you don't have to trust it, it is as it is. And that again is supposed to be the basis for all the activities and coordination when it comes to biodiversity initiatives and activities. And what we always also, you will find that on our page, the transparency, truth, and traceability, we consider to be really the columns our business model stands on. So what we are doing and what we are promising is we can deliver the system which with others can work. We are not the ones in the front row, because there are so brilliant NGOs, people, organizations already existing who do that. But we are the ones who empower them to do it better and to do it on a basis of proof instead of trust. The technology is, of course, a scientific one. So it is about analyzing and reading the unique DNA code that follows a clear and transparent way how we do that. At the end, you are looking at the genome. We are developing a marker, DNA marker for each species. And then based on that, we apply it 1, 2, 3, 5 million, 5 billion times. Once you have the marker, you can apply that for an unlimited number of animals of that species. You have to do that species by species. And this is what we do in our laboratory in Germany. We develop these markers and make them accessible for the world in order to give passports. We also brought some case studies just very briefly, and Peter will guide you a little bit through it as an example to give you an idea of how can we apply that and what could it be for which field in a solution, let's say.
Thank you, Axel. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I give you a sad example. I'm working with turtles. And for example, we set up in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico the breeding facility for the smallest turtle on the planet. You saw it with the yellow nose. A very cute creature. Was described in 2018. So we didn't know before 2018 that that species exists. And there are approximately 600 of them left. And we set up this breeding facility, and because there's some money worth, we had a theft. And 45 of them got stolen. And now that they probably will pop up on the international illegal pet trade. But what we did was we took samples of them, and we have now their genetic codes. And when they reappear, we can prove that those are our stolen animals. Or let's say maybe they will breed them in their basements, and they will try to sell their offspring. We also will be able to prove that those offsprings originate from our stolen animals. So that's one practical example. What we also will be able to do is, let's say we do the genetic passport of a crocodile breeding farm. And when a handbag pops up wherever on the planet, it also works, our marker sets also work with animal products, not only with living animals or samples from living animals. So we can verify whether those products originate from sustainable farms, legally bred animals, or whether there are poached animals, which are a fraud. And because this differentiation is so hard to make, governments try to shut down markets instead of opening them and allowing a sustainable trade. And this is what we try to contribute with our product here.
Yeah. And you know, the thing is also, what Peter just mentioned, it is a little bit also to unlock the potential we have in terms of doing really conservation activities, conservation projects. We think that this technique and this system is unlocking really completely new transparency fields or levels. Because it's not that the people are not intending to do it. It's not that not the heart is in it. It is. But it is sometimes just in reality, it is based on paper. And let's face it, paper is fake in this illegal wildlife trade and other circumstances, and also even sometimes in supply chain. And to replace this kind of necessary trust in paper with a scientific proof, this is our vision, and this is why we are here, and this is what we can offer to the world. And I think we also named it like that biodiversity deserves proof. It deserves that we change the mechanism of paper-based trust into really scientific proof and stability, and to make that even more effective than it is today. That was it. Thank you very much for your listening and attention.
Thank you for having us here. Yeah.